Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Business Roundtable Podcast. I'm so excited because I've got a brand new guest who I've known for years. Nicolle, I've known her and her husband for years, and we're actually both certified with Wake Up Warrior. We're trainers, but she's got a great expertise I'm going to let her talk about. For those of you listening for the first time, for whatever reason, my name is David Carr of Steward Your Business, helping you and your teams lead well. Bringing you together to accomplish great things. And so part of that is living the warrior's way, which again, Nicolle and I have been doing for years, and how we've come to collaborate. And I'm excited to have you here, Nicolle. Just before we get to the topic of AI and all this stuff, all this technology, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you kind of got into Warrior, how we connected, and what a little bit about your background and where you're at today.
Thank you so much for the introduction.
Yeah.
And I love to be here. I love, I've been wanting to be in the podcast.
Hey.
I didn't know, like, I didn't know how to ask, or like the opportunity came out, and
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for you, with you and for you, because you have a very successful podcast, which I invite everyone to watch because there's a lot of valuable information. And well, a little bit about myself. I'm
Mhm.
from Chihuahua, Chihuahua, Mexico. And sometimes it's a little confusing because I've been saying people that I'm a Latina, and I'm a Latina and Hispanic. So I'm both. I'm
Mm.
from I'm from everywhere. But in reality, I'm more Mexican than anything. I have like my Mexico in my heart. And but I spent most of my life also in the United States. So it's kind of like I'm from both. And
Mm-hmm.
um I studied here in El Paso, Texas, and then I just like was flying around the world, like getting to know people, connecting with people, creating projects, and I mean situations and jobs and things like that. Like just it just transformed me into what I really wanted to do. And now I have a business and I have a purpose
Yes.
and help people coming out of prison. We do technology and marketing, so it's just amazing. And even like what you said about the warrior helped me change and shape
Mm-hmm.
that vision,
Yeah.
and just connecting with you and even working with you, because we've been working for, I think, for a year, right? Like when we
Mm-hmm.
started
Yep.
with Start Your Business, we've been
Yep.
working together, and I've been learning so much. And I just love like giving value to the community, and I love all the people there like sharing and
Yes.
transforming it, and just great what you're doing. So yes, that's what it is.
Well, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, I should say, yeah, when you came and you and Hector came on,
Yeah.
training you on the giant tools, and we on the podcast we've talked about that a number of times. So for those of you listening, we have some previous episodes on your leadership voice, and so Nicolle and I were talking before we got on here, how that informs even how we or use technology and AI. And so one of the things I really loved that you guys were training me on and understanding was how are you using this whole artificial intelligence tool, which is scary to some people. Some people are early adopters. And so I thought it'd be great to have you on here, Nicolle, to talk to the Business Roundtable podcast. We're talking to business owners, we're talking to people that are in leadership roles. And so how do they navigate this new technology? I mean, it's only been around, for a couple of years and really in commercially, maybe about a year and a half or so, where it's really been starting to get more established, right? So maybe can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about the what got you into the whole AI world and how you guys were like, because you guys were early adopters. I mean, before I know talking to your husband Hector like years ago, he was looking about how he could infuse this to technology. So you guys are definitely on the cutting edge.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird because like I said, like I've been transforming myself and shaping what I want and learning from everywhere. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the one word that I will bring innovation. I
Mm-hmm.
love innovation. So for instance, every time that I would go somewhere new, like I would just like say, I want to learn like what is this place doing different that I could
Mm-hmm.
bring to my community. And like, so for instance, when I was traveling abroad, and I studied abroad, and one of my projects was actually having a business incubator, because I used to work in a business incubator. I was the secretary, And then they started seeing that I was very good doing flyers. And then all of a sudden, like, I was receiving and hosting people, giving them like a warm welcome, and then just showing the place. And I was selling, and they were like, "This girl is something else." Because like I wanted to see the office full of people. And so just
Yep.
because I had that intention, I started like learning, and they were like, "You know what? Like, we're gonna pay you a little bit more." And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, I wasn't expecting those things. So I was just getting blessed from everything and everywhere. I just wanted to learn. When I went to the United States, I just wanted to learn. And then I just
Mhm.
started flying and learning. So everything that I learned from everywhere, I would just bring it to my community. And
Mm.
so, and when I learned, about, you were telling me about the voices and
Yep.
about giants, right? And
Yep.
what I like about Giant is that I learned and I identified my voice, and then
Hmm.
I understood why am I doing what I'm doing, because one of the things that I was so confused is like, why am I doing this if I don't like it? It's
Yes.
just so frustrating. I didn't study for this. It's like I have an AI technology, and it's like, oh my god, how come? How come I got to this place where I never wanted to be behind a computer, because I'm a
Hmm.
people person and I want
Yep.
to be just presenting. So now the opportunity for me is educating,
Yes.
educating the subject and making people feel good about AI, because I think there's a lot of bias and there's a lot of taboos that I
Hmm.
have to be breaking. And like you said, like, yes, this is something new for majority of the people, but
Yep.
this is not really not new, because we are one generation behind when it comes to education and technology. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't know how to use it. A lot
Yep.
of people still don't know how to use their phones. A lot of people don't still like don't know how to like navigate a lot of things that are already available, so you can empower yourself and learn and bring more to your community and create those innovative projects. And
Hmm.
I think that the United States has so much, and just like Mexico has so much. And one of the things that I love is like that exchange in knowledge and support that we can bring in the
Yep.
community. And one of the things that I do and I'm very passionate about is making AI human.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that that's one of the projects that we have in making people understand that really AI is not, it's not just robotics and things that are scary. It's actually pretty cool.
Well, I love that you brought up the voices too, and so I'll just do
Uh-huh.
a refresher for the folks that don't know that. But I think having knowing Nicolle, because actually Nicolle has the same voice order I have of being a connector and a creative, and we're being very future oriented. So for some of the for folks like us, AI isn't really scary. It's actually something we like kind of run to, right? Nicole's like, oh, cool, because how does it help people? I think that's what you said.
Hmm.
You don't want to be behind a machine just coding or doing this stuff, but it's how it's like connecting with people. And I know some of the things you've been helping with people, just like you said, with phones and the folks with the prison system and all this stuff. You're just trying to help people deal with the technology to connect with their loved ones, and
Exactly.
right. And so we want to encourage you, if that's not your voice, still listen in. Nicolle and I are very excited about this, but the point is we can help you. If you've heard our podcast before, where I've talked to guardian voice or nurture voice, which are very present oriented, and they are very risk averse, or looking how people are going to be affected in a more emotional way. Just take a moment, listen, take all this information in. And I'm excited, Nicolle, for you to share a little bit more, to kind of maybe take away the apprehension or fear around AI, and maybe just start to open up the door for folks, Nicolle, as to what they should consider, just like any other technology, right? Of like, hey, what should they just consider of how AI could help them?
Well, it can help in so many ways, and I wish I could just tell you everything. But the one thing that comes to my mind right now, I don't know, I've been learning a lot to do this in the warrior, just like getting into one thing.
Mm,
The one thing that I just can say is that it can help you really connect with what you really want, because it
mhm.
can really help you organize your ideas, organize your thoughts, revise anything that you want to do, explore new opportunities, because sometimes you don't even know what you want. You don't
Right.
even know how to start things. You don't even know where to look. So what if we start right there? A lot of
Hmm.
people go to Google and they just Google things. And there's like, and I don't want to just talk about Google, right? Because we can talk about a lot of different companies, but just for an example. But there's this saying, like people say, just Google it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just Google it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to think,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
there's this connotation that people create is like, oh, it's because it's making people lazy. No, it's making people really connect with information. But now the importance is, how are you really learning that information and making sure that you're making a right decision based
Mm-hmm.
on the information that is presented? Because sometimes information is not valid. It could
Right.
be inaccurate, it could be different. And that's when you have to master that skill so you can be able to see what's real and what's not. But at the same time, getting away from that stage of not believing in AI, is it comes with the faith that you're going to create something innovative.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, one of the things that I've been doing is, professionally speaking, I do market research. And I don't do just simple market research on Google or social media, or no, I go deep into the news. I do journals, I do articles, I go and explore everywhere, and I have databases for marketing. And I paid a lot of money to get information to those databases.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I get information that it's for my clients, so I can create like even financial reports, industry reports, and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So since I was 18 years old, I used to do that for my clients. Like 2 weeks, I would do market research and I would help them. And I remember when I used to do that, I would hate that. I would really hate. I would love to learn about the industry, but I was like, I don't like to do this. This is just too much. I just want to learn. And so I was doing that in 2 weeks. But then AI came, and I was just like, let me try to see if I can make this better. How I can make this faster, more efficient, more
Right.
presentable, more important. So, but that come to a state of mind for myself to put me in a position of discipline and actually read the information that I'm writing with AI, and
Mm-hmm.
actually make sure that those things that I'm creating are being a benefit for humans, for people. Because if we use information to really do nothing, then it's just information. But if
Mm-hmm.
you get educated on the subject, you create a skill. And so there's a lot of folks, there's a lot of like the younger generation, they're excited about chat GPT.
Uh-huh.
And when I was in college, there were around 60 people in the room. And this has been always for me. People always want to copy my stuff or ask for my homework, or like, like, because
Yep.
I've always been the girl that does everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so, uh, because I push myself, I mean, I, my first language is Spanish, and I didn't know how to communicate in English. And for me, it was like embarrassing because I was always very quiet. And so I started developing myself, but then I saw that there were some percentages of people that are very not uh, uh, they're different, they learn different.
Yeah.
And they, like, I felt that frustration with myself, because it's like, okay, people want to learn from me, but how can I really teach them? And then I'm just looking at the percentage of in the class that are not really learning and applying what they're learning. And
Yep. Mm-hmm.
why so they're paying a lot of money in college just
Yep.
to go to fraternities, or just like to end up, like not finishing college, or like feeling frustrated after you end up college, because now you're doing something else, or you're changing careers because you realize you don't like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So having that in mind, I'm thinking about a lot of people in college that are innovative and that are using technology to actually learn what they're learning in class in a different way, in a way that
Mm-hmm.
the instructor maybe it doesn't have the capacity or doesn't have the time to teach according to the skill of the student. So students are getting better at learning, but I know that they're creating a skill, and that
Mm-hmm.
skill is gonna be transformed into entrepreneurship, and is gonna make
Mm.
businesses. It's gonna make it's gonna make the economy better. And I don't know why a lot of people are not talking about this, because
That's
these are the things that are gonna be coming.
you struck there's I have one of my books here. But oh yeah, here's the book I have. You just struck me. This is a book by Michael Hyatt, but it's called Entrepreneurs Will Save the World.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
need more entrepreneurs out there, and I think ChatGPT or any of this AI is a tool that can help people become better entrepreneurs more quickly, right? Have success versus taking the time and having costly lessons that most entrepreneurs will tell you they've faced over the course of their career to get to a successful business. So it can short circuit it. What do we call that in the warrior speak? We call it collapsing time, right?
Yeah.
It's speeding up that process, so you're kind of getting through the bumps that hopefully quicker to get to that success, right?
Yes. And sometimes people think that people are gonna lose the learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna be pretty much like it's just gonna take them to the result, but that's not true. Because the more that you do that, the more little things that you do with developing yourself with
Yep.
AI, you're gonna create a skill,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that skill is gonna make you create an identity, and you can become actually like very powerful, because uh, everyone has their own projects. Everyone has wants to have their own thing. Everyone wants to have like their own unique mentor or whatever. And you can create that with artificial intelligence. Like you can, if you don't like, for instance, like certain people in YouTube, or if you don't like certain things in out there, like you can create your own way of learning things and just getting things that you see that you can learn, get
Yep.
them together, and then you have that AI help you understand better. Because sometimes I just feel that people are just like myself, getting triggered by like the lack of information that there's in technology. People
Mm-hmm.
don't understand technology, therefore they're skeptical. They don't
Mm-hmm.
believe. But
Mm-hmm.
the more people get informed, and the more people understand how it works and how it can benefit their lives, instead of understanding the root of the AI, just understand how it works. You don't have to understand where it's coming from. You just have
Mm-hmm.
to understand how it works and how it can benefit you. So I've been creating my little mentors. Like I have like Garrett, Garrett, our
Our
coach.
mentor, yeah,
I
coach,
have it as
and
my mentor. I have him as my mentor. I have Russell Brunson as my mentor. I have Dan Kennedy as my mentor, like with information that they have. And when
mm-hmm.
I want to have a question, I just go and then, okay, what would,
Yeah.
Russell Brunson do in this scenario?
Uh-huh.
And I would just learn, and okay, I'm going to adapt it to what I'm doing. And that's usually how I'm just like hustling and working with projects and helping people.
Well, as you say that, that really triggers a mind. I think they say that readers are leaders, meaning you're taking in information and you're learning it and adapting it.
Mhm.
I think that's been a lifelong thing that I've learned. And any successful leader tells you they're reading, they're taking in knowledge, and then, like you said, Nicolle, they're sifting through it and saying, how can this help me? Because what they're taking in that book is you're taking a concentrated amount of time, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, depending on the person that wrote the book. They're putting that into a book. Now you've got AI pulling from all of these books, websites, all of these different sources for hundreds of thousands, who knows, if you counted up each individual's life, right? And all the time they're taking that, and you're taking that, Nicolle. What I hear you saying is you're taking it in the system and you're learning how to leverage that and extract out of that information and apply it to your life in a meaningful way that you would have otherwise had to learn for years. Even if you could read a book a day or something, there's just the way you're able to access the information, right, using the AI.
Yes, and I love what you said about like the books about readers are leaders,
Yeah.
and I think that we need to take a stand for leadership
Mhm.
um, in AI. Like we have to follow those leaders that are actually using AI
Mm-hmm.
and transforming it into something that could be very beneficial to you. Like, I'm not saying that you have to go and use all the technology available about AI. Just learn how to use ChatGPT.
Right.
Like, just learn how to, like, there's formulas for everything,
Mm-hmm.
and there's stories for everything. And so you just have to go and create your own, your own thing, and find
Mm-hmm.
your own thing, so that you can level up and feel good about AI, instead of feeling like it's scary and that you don't want to learn.
Yeah, well, I mean, working with Unicle and Hector, one thing I've learned over using this technology is like not being afraid of it, just understanding how to leverage it, just like any other tool. And I think you show me some ways that we can ask questions and prompt, but it's definitely different than like quote unquote just Google it. It's like saying to somebody, giving them a tool. It's got a lot to it, so it's like and I know we just had a production workshop with our Wake Up Warrior Council last week. We were talking, when you say AI, there's a whole suite of different things it's being incorporated in right now. So it's
Yeah,
not just Chat GPT. That's just
yeah,
one of many, 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 many tools, right?
yeah. I've used a lot of tools, and I stopped using a lot of tools, but the one that I don't stop using is ChatGPT.
Uh-huh.
And because it helps me really create things that I wanna, and be fast, and just, it's like having your team of people working with you,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
doing things for you. And even though I have a team of people, they are using artificial intelligence, and we're giving a better service. For instance, a lot of people are creating websites. Like, businesses are creating websites,
Mm-hmm.
and people are like, how can I make my website convert?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes you spend a lot of time building a website, and
Mm-hmm.
then when you launch it, it's not working,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you
Yeah.
have to redo it, and you have to redo it, and you have to redo it. And sometimes that takes time. If you don't have the skill to do that, it takes time.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a little different. We know how to build the whole thing, and we test it, 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 until we get it to the point that you really need to convey that message. But that only can happen if you actually revise and rewrite and rewrite, and you test. But now
Mm-hmm.
with artificial intelligence, it's like we can do that faster. We can
Yeah.
create that unlimited copy. We can create that unlimited, design. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that a lot of people are concerned about, oh, it doesn't look human. Oh, it sounds like AI. Well, guess what? You can give your voice. If you have an identity, you can put that identity in the AI. You can create those prompts and those instructions to
Mm-hmm.
make it the way you want. But here's the thing: most people don't know what they want, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's what they see. They don't see the potential because they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
So first know what you want, and then go and ask ChatGPT, and then you can create whatever you want.
Or they can come hire you, Nicole, right? You can help them a little bit, right? No, seriously. You help me. I mean, you creating a chat bot or other things just to get you started sometimes. I mean, the reason why we have the Business Roundtable podcast is to bring voices like Nicole on here so that as you're hearing from folks, we'll have a discovery call with you to see if we can help you. Ultimately, because Nicole, again, we're connectors. I don't believe, yes, AI can do our voice. It could do a lot of things, which is great. And I think that's awesome. But we're all human beings. At the end of the day, we crave relationships with human beings. So it won't it won't take won't replace human beings in the sense of relationship with one another, but it's a
Yes.
tool, you know? And I think understanding that the tool can serve you. It could, it's just like any tool. It can be helpful. It can also be beneficial. The internet is a great thing. It's got some amazing things. It's got some very dark and not good things. So you have to be wise about how you're using this and bringing it into your life, right, Nicole?
Yes. It's like like the darkness and the light. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just, where are you putting your focus?
Mm-hmm.
You putting your focus in the dark, or are you putting your focus in the light? You
Mm-hmm.
put your focus in the light. I mean, you can embrace AI,
Mm-hmm.
and make it even, like, it's just like, I think that our brain and our, doesn't have the capacity to understand so many things, and we don't have to have that capacity. We don't. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's our egos when people want to like learn, I don't want to, I don't know about this. Is your ego and your pride not
Mm-hmm.
putting you outside the box
Yep.
and making you realize, because you're like, most of the people I know are always watching TV, are always, like on their phones,
Mm-hmm.
scrolling social media, like going to eat, regular lives, going to work 8 to 5, and
Yep.
even like right now with AI, and I know a lot of people are using it, and even more of as an excuse to be able to still be sedating on those things that I just told you, and so
Yep.
that's different. So then it comes to your ethics and your morals. It's more about your habits. If you're gonna use it for doing that, then of course you're gonna go into the dark and you're not gonna get any result. But if you
Mm-hmm.
use it on your daily, for instance, for myself, I'm bipolar. So I deal with a lot of my emotions, and I'm an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur. I mean, all day I'm dealing with different clients. Sometimes I get pissed off with the technology, sometimes it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work, sometimes it breaks, and then sometimes the light goes off, and then sometimes there's a tornado. I mean, life happens, and
Yep.
it's like, oh my god, I need to do something. And so I use AI so I can have time to go with life, so I can have time to, like, do things that because still, like, I'm in front of the computer and creating a lot of things in the computer, but at the
Yep.
same time, I'm in the community. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I go in the community. One of the things that I'm really passionate about, like, I want to go to the prison system. I
Mm-hmm.
want to go to the prisons. I want to go inside and I want to help people inside and I want to mentor them.
Yeah.
But I also created a tool. My husband created a tool so we can reach those people faster.
Mm-hmm.
But at
Yeah.
the same time, we're going to go inside the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our work.
Yes.
And and when we operate on this side, the light is always going to be a light. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not really using AI to make something bad for society. The only people that make that is yourself. You're making it bad for you because you're not embracing it for yourself. You're not creating a new habit. So I do that. I go to ChatGPT and I tell him, this is, we have the reporting every week, the
Mm-hmm.
general sense,
Yep.
and this is where we actually report what's working and what's not working for those that don't know. But I grab all of that and I give it to ChatGPT and I tell him, hey, make me be better. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do this week, or I did this and I already got bored and this is not working for me. Hey, there's a fly there. And and it's funny because I just saw the fly. And you see, like, we're not AI, we're still
Yeah.
living with
Yeah. We're
flies.
no. Yeah. We're real. This is not an AI show. Oh goodness.
And so it's about really making it better for you. It's not about, I understood when I created this. I understood that I'm not gonna make the world better with what I created. I
Mm.
know I'm created the world better for myself.
Yeah.
And why? Because when I started giving this tool to people I didn't know, and people were like very appreciative, and I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting that. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting that at all, because people were like, oh my god, like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, finally I could go somewhere and ask for information, or finally I can connect with my loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Because thanks to that, thanks to artificial intelligence, we've been creating tools so that people can still be people,
Mm-hmm.
can still have that human interaction, can still have that relationship.
Yep. Yep.
And that's the point. It's not about creating fake identities. It's not about filters. It's not about, no, it's about making people be more human.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think I think there's a lot of things that people just need to be more aware.
Yeah. Well, I think you're bringing some good points. I hope as people are listening to this, it's not something to be scared about. I think you just got to be wise about what you're bringing. I mean, like you said, Nicolle. I mean, how many people have a cell phone that they're bringing into life? They're scrolling on. They're spending all this time on. It's a different tool. It can suck your energy. So you have to figure out what that is for you, your boundaries, how it's working. But if you look at it as a tool or technology, I mean, remember a funny story here, Nicolle. This is not AI, but I'm old enough to remember GPS units because I was in the environmental consulting world, Nicolle, and there was a time. I really date myself. GPS units were just coming on the market, and I remember working in a firm, and part of the people were like, "I don't trust them. I don't want to use them." And like, this was a long time ago, but still, nonetheless, there's a generation, and there's folks, and I'm not saying that's not to be challenged, but just realize that over time it'll filter out. Now we all use GPS units. Most people have them in some form to navigate because it helps us. If we had to like plot a way to get somewhere, and I'm old enough, we used to have these Thomas Brother map books we'd have to buy, and we have to look at it and like look at the streets. If we had to spend all that time, to your point, Nicolle, it's taking away from potentially, at least, the relationship and time you could be spending with other people, right? Because you're having to do all this other time of trying to put this out. So just use the tool to help you get in having better relationship, better connections. I mean, my other podcast that I host is called the Intelligent Human Leadership Podcast, is knowing yourself to lead yourself. That you're that intelligent human leader that's using AI to help you, right?
Yes. So it's more of like when people are confused, like you said, like people don't know GPS, like, oh, I don't know, and they're just having that wall already.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you just cross the wall
Yeah.
and change it, right? And one way is just really helping it. It's kind of like when you go through the stack, right? We have the stack, we have our story, and then we have the other narrative. We have what we feel about the things, but we have the facts, and we have what we want, right? So again, what we could do with people is okay, you don't believe in AI, or you don't like, you have this tool and you don't know how to use it, or you're confused. Okay, what do you want? What do you want? What is it what you want? And a lot of people don't know what, like I said, don't know what they want, and they're confused. So us as trainers, as warriors, we need to help them in waking up and telling them, okay, there's definitely something there that you want to do. And AI could probably help you more and save you time, save you money, save you resources, and save you a lot of struggles. Because really, if I would have just had ChatGPT 3 years ago when I started putting together all the pieces with AI, right now I would have been in a different story. But like, things happen for a reason in a way, right? But it's just about time that people need to wake up and see the potential.
Yeah, well, I want to say, so you talked earlier, you know, one area that you specialize in, Nicolle, is marketing. And I think we're seeing how AI helps us get the message clear. Like you said, what do you want? What are you trying to communicate? So before didn't have ChatGPT, so we'd have to do trial and error testing, hire copywriters, try to test it out, figure it out. But now what I'm hearing you say is if you use the AI, it really can help you get that compressed down, so then you can actually get to the better part of actually reaching the people you need to reach, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not just a marketer, but I'm a learner.
Yes.
And I like to learn. And that's why people like always come to me and telling me, and hey, how do you do this? And I would be like, oh my God, like, let me tell you how I learn, so that you can learn. Because if not, I'm gonna do everything for you, and it's we're gonna miss the point because you're not gonna learn. So I started marketing myself as a way of like, let me help you how to think with AI. Let me help you how to connect with AI. And from there, you're gonna find out the answers yourself. Because I cannot give you an answer. I cannot give you the power that you want. A lot of people, when they hire marketing agencies, they are hiring with the thinking that they're gonna solve their things, and that they're gonna bring them clients, and they're gonna create this amazing branding, and that they're gonna create, that you're gonna have followers, and that you're gonna have reviews, and finally you're gonna put your e-commerce, and you're gonna just have a lot of people coming to you. And that's not true. Why? Because marketers, at certain extent, they could do things with their abilities, but the real ability is the way that you can listen. So I listen to people, and then I tell them, okay, this is what you want, and in that moment it might be what they want, but the next day you want something different. And then So the evolution for people sometimes takes time, where in marketing people want something right away. So
Mhm.
the evolution is where a lot of people are not being patient with. So
Mhm.
artificial intelligence, you also have to be very patient with artificial intelligence, but it can really help you break that gap, avoid a lot of pain, and
Mhm.
just like, understand things better. One of the things that I worked on is actually getting all of my knowledge. Like for instance, if I do copywriting, if I do marketing, if I do social media, if I do different things, I'm gonna put all of the resources already in my artificial intelligence. And
Mhm.
I have already this, like ChatGPT learns from the whole internet, right?
Mhm.
Us, we make the chatbot learn from the information that you just want it to learn from.
Mhm.
That way it has the full capacity, and you can just like retrain it and give it the information that you want so that you can understand the information better. Because sometimes there's books like this one. I don't know, Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
right? You have books like this one, and people just read them like they read this, and then they read the cover, and then they read a few pages, and it's like, oh my god, I'm already tired. Like I don't want to read it, and then just like stop reading it. Most
Right.
of the people do that. But
Mhm.
what if you bring this book to the artificial intelligence and then just ask questions
Mm.
about like what are the best strategies from this book? What is the main point from this book?
Mhm.
I want to have an answer, and that way, okay, you're already getting an answer, but then
Mhm.
you're waking up that motivation to actually learn. So
Yeah.
it's about creating it, making it fun. It's
Yeah.
about making it really good for you, because what's the point of making things that you don't like to do?
Right. I love that, Nicole.
Yeah,
Well, and I like giving that example of the book too. If you start to ask those questions or something, and you find like, oh, I'm really enjoying this, then that might be good. That might actually go get the book, But why go buy the book or get something if you're not sure is something that you're really going to use, or right?
yeah. Or maybe you have the book and now you want to do a presentation about the book, but you're
Hmm.
not, your skills in creating presentations, there's a fly again. Your skills to creating that presentation are really bad, and you get discouraged, and then you get that, like, you feel bad, and then you're not certain about doing it, and then you never do it. But what if
Hmm.
you just like use AI, and then you create this amazing slide, this amazing thing, or a video, and
Yeah.
now you can share with the world. And so
Yeah.
I think it's just about, a lot of people have to be aware of, there's major, like for instance, here in Mexico and a lot of
Hmm.
Latin American countries is different from the United States. We are eager to learn.
Hmm.
Are like, most of the people I know more than 5 languages.
That's incredible. Yeah.
And when you meet people like that, and then they see AI and they see, oh my god, now I can learn more. Where
Hmm.
others, they see just like, oh, I'm gonna be more lazy. Well, where's your thinking? Where's your
Hmm.
focus? And so for me, it's more about embracing it, getting innovative, making things that are bored, making it fun, make things
Hmm.
that are mundane, making them better. I used to work for the government. It was bad because everything was slow, slow,
That's in
slow.
the U.S. too, by the way, Nicole.
I'm sorry.
That's in the U.S. too.
And well, I was working in the U.S.
Oh,
actually, and
yeah.
then
Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe it's quicker in Mexico. I don't know, but
it's the same. It's
yeah.
where uh, our culture is different, but the issues are the same. The problems
Mm.
are the same, and it's very slow. People are sometimes not working. Like they go and then just stay behind the desk, scrolling their emails, making a few phone calls, going to eat with their friends from the office, and
Mm.
then coming back, and then they're having, I don't know, like multiple things, and then things are like, we have this whole thing on the outside, but then on the inside you're like, how can I make it work? Because you're so overwhelmed with the quantity of people that you have to serve.
Mhm.
So me having that, like, I needed to slow down, and I wish I would have had AI in that moment, because I know that I would have, like, like kind of like make it fun for me,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it was really mundane.
Well, I think I think there's so many great you triggered me a thought. One of the cool tools actually that's now out, because you're in the giant one, they actually have a new tool called the Five Voices app, that you can
Yes, I
use.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, and it includes AI understanding. It learns based on how you're putting information and responding. So this is just one of many technologies that are out there. And I agree with you, Nicolle. You want to have fun, and I think, I would love to go. We're gonna have to do another episode of the
Yeah.
podcast, because I think what we're gonna do is have you come back and break down some of these a little bit more specifically, because I think we could probably pick a tool, right, Nicolle? How you're having fun with this, and get people now. Hopefully, the people are hearing this. Like, don't be afraid. Listen, and AI is your friend. You can use it. It can benefit you. But if you don't know where to start, what's the best way for people to connect with you, Nicolle? Like, where can they find you? Like, hey, I want to know more, Nicolle. How to get me going? You
Well, they can
reduce the
connect
fear.
through you. They can connect me through you, of course.
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
send a DM right here, or they can
Mhm.
comment on the podcast, and of
Yep.
course, we'll be able to see. And then, but if you go to my social media, I have Instagram, I have Facebook. I don't do
Mhm.
a lot of LinkedIn because my market is not really there. Like I work with a lot of folks, like young generation, so there are a
Yeah.
lot of like like on Facebook, and
And they have
I have a
TikTok,
lot
right? Oh
of.
boy.
Yeah, I had TikTok, and I just like I'm transforming
I
it. I'm
can't keep
changing
up with
it.
all of them sometimes,
I so yeah, I think that there's like for everything, like like there's like you have an identity for all the social medias. It's like here I could be this, here I could be that, here I could share this, here I could share that. But in reality, like I people could just like connect me with me like through you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we could do what we could do if people are interested in learning more.
Mhm.
I could send them some videos and some information, and then I could just like they can join my master class. You can learn, and of course, if they want a strategy call, like we can book an appointment and see what we could do for them, because I think it's more like helping them understand the
Yes.
potential. Yeah.
Yep. And I think, Nicolle, with your bilingual expertise, you can speak, multiple language. You can help folks navigate this, and I think that's a wonderful thing. I've really appreciated that, learning from you and how you and your husband have been able to do it. You've shown me how you've created these pages in Spanish. I know a little bit of Spanish, un poquito, but but I so appreciate that, and like you said, your ability to learn and take in information, and again, the value of a connector voice. That person is, you are connecting these resources, and that's on the same way. So sometimes you're not that person, and that's okay. You don't have to be the connector. Using the five voices language, you might be a guardian, or nurturer, pioneer, creative. There's all different voices. So what we want to do is, adapt and learn the technology from the voice that works for you, and recognizing, like what you said, Nicolle, we all have what I call barriers of kind of self-preservation, of understanding how we are. When we can lower that barrier, recognizing we're actually going to be better, it's okay to open up the door to the possibilities, right? Instead of keeping the door shut and limiting ourselves. And I hope that's what people are hearing today. What would you want to share? Any key takeaways or thoughts as we're wrapping up the podcast today?
Well, I'm very grateful with you. I enjoyed this conversation so much. We
Yeah,
always have amazing conversations, and
definitely.
I just I pray for people that want to learn about this, and the ones that don't want to learn, like pray for it, and ask God to illuminate you so that you can see the truth about this, and you can see the potential. And if anyone wants something like wants to learn, even like if they want to learn, like they can always reach out to me. And I'm gonna be
Mhm.
making a few videos on YouTube. I'm not famous. I don't have a lot of followers because I'm not into that. And I'm a normal person. Not saying that influencers are not normal. It's just it's a different thing.
Yes.
Um, but if people want to learn more, like it's really it's very nice to have that feedback from people. So just let me know what you guys want to do. Tell me about your projects, who you are, and that way we can start.
That would be great, Nicolle. I thank you so much for coming back. We're definitely going to have you back on. And I love your thoughts, and I think, again, I'm learning so much from this. I think it's really benefited me and helped me grow my business. So I thank you and Hector for supporting Steward Your Business.
Yeah.
And so we're collaborators, we're partners. So you'll probably see Nicolle and I putting on something else together. So again, we really appreciate your comments, likes. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. That would be fantastic.
Yes.
I'm going to be on. We're here on LinkedIn. We're here on YouTube. You'll find us on all the social medias, like you said, Nicolle.
Yes.
But just thanks again for being here on the podcast. Appreciate you having you.
Thank you so much. No, thank you. God bless
You're
you.
welcome. God bless you. Have a great night.
Bye.